Okay, this is my new moon video. It's my belief it's going to be such a shit show. You're not going to see it. There's my prefacing, but I have notes that I took down. So they're so intricate, but they're what I want to express about this new moon in Cancer. And the moon is a really good in the sky right above us reminder of the cycles that we live through. And the big cycle that we all live through, of course, is birth and death. And where you place your death, is it in your life? Is it something that happens at the end and you fall off into that ocean where the dragons are? So it's a cycle. So the moon cycle, any cycle, the idea of it is to help you in cycles. And the biggest cycle you're going to need help with is going to be death. So now prefacing that right up front, it's not all doom and gloom with that because death reflects back our life to us. And so when you're on a new moon, the practice here is to plant seeds. What is it that you want out of this next cycle? So we're not left into this cycle without any kind of desire or anything. I guess I'm saying we're not being swept along by that current. We have will, we have decisions, we have opportunities in front of us. So we're always going to have something that we're doing and our life is going to unfold. But the moon cycle allows us to say, okay, I'm going to take a week, 4 weeks, because there's 4 sequences in the moon cycle. This is me doing the moon cycle. A graphic here would help. So, in those 4 segments, one segment we get to practice planting seeds, and that's the new moon. This whole next week is the idea of the butterfly in the cocoon. So, this whole next week is kind of like informing that butterfly. In the butterfly, they're imaginal cells. So, we're imagining, think of that as what's happening right now for us consciously. We're able to start imagining what it is we'd like to grow. I'm going to tip this because I can't. Okay, there. So, what seeds? If I want tomatoes, I'm going to plant tomatoes. If I want um, whatever I want, which, hey, that leads me to this. So, what is it that I want? This is what I want. I really want to do a podcast about the new moon today on the full moon, on the new moon. And I'm terrified to do this. So, this is interesting to me because it's like, why, right? Why am I terrified? So, I wrote down don't just in asterisks want or desire to do it because nothing is stopping you. And there really isn't anything stopping me. My intellect totally understand all the reasons why I would be really, really good at doing this, that I would love it, that it's something I want to do. And yet I'm terrified. So what I wrote here is that what I want to do somehow resides outside of myself. So a doctor trains to be a doctor and he becomes a doctor by practicing being a doctor every day. So there's that slow unfolding of becoming a doctor. And then I wrote down, I've been practicing being myself for a really long time, probably longer than doctors are in medical school. I've been practicing being myself. So there isn't anything stopping me in that sense. And this really made me think about this idea of separation and that I'm really dealing with not my intellect with this, but my emotional self. The intellect is that static energy, but our emotions are the motion, the energy when it has motion. So for me, I'm like, wow, my emotions attached to this are what's keeping me from doing it. So, yes, that's where my attachments are. So then when I was looking at that, I thought that this idea of the old ideas, all this stuff that I have in myself that tell me this litany of you're not good enough, you're not an expert, all of this. And as I was sitting here, I'm really thinking about that in terms of I don't have set goals per se. The seeds, though, and putting the pieces in place, all the pieces are in place. It's just like I'm really needing to kick my own ass, by doing this. So that was the deal. I said, all right, sit down and do it. If you hate it, don't worry about it. It's practice. So it may still remain practice. I don't know, but there's something in that doing, I think it's Gareth that says providence moves when you commit. And I can't, a doctor gets that certificate, right? And then boom, there's got to be the day when that first surgery comes, and it might be scary. I don't know. I would think so. And so it's just like, all right, well, in the terror comes the excitement and that feeling of I did it. So I think maybe the baby steps are what's so important. You can talk yourself into it and intellectually be right there and know I can do this. And then we go to somebody else or we ask outside of ourselves, well, can I do this? Can I? It's like we're looking for that validation or permission. And I do that a lot. So this time I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to do it because what's the worst thing that can happen? I mean, really. But I have to weigh that up. And it pleases me that all the emotional work pays off because now I'm like, I can feel that whole cluster come up of, oh, you're not good enough or this or that, whatever. I can feel all of that, but it really feels like a weight literally on my shoulders. So now I'm like, well, what would happen if I didn't have all of that? They're like beliefs, and it's all based on the historical data of my past. So fuck it, really. Why can't I just not listen to those voices and listen to the voices of my friends, of my family, of my life, of all my books? What surrounds me is so beautiful. And so then I feel that that beautifulness of my life, it it there's an accountability, I think, with that. What am I accountable to? Why am I here? And in this space that I have between my birth and my death, what is my context? What do I want to hold space for? What, in Gandhi's words, is the change that I want to see that I can become? And if I just show up, the beauty of my being is to allow something to come through. So that was what finally talked me into it. It's like, well, what else are you here for? If you're not here to express what is your deepest desire and what is your heart's content, I think if we all did that, I don't know. I think it would make a difference. I think it would be a lot more shiny, shiny, happy people. Um, and not in a moral kind of way, but in a way where your life unfolds out of you as it occurs to you. And you literally, isn't it goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life? I think, the ancients had it. All the poems, all the stories, all the myths, everything that we have point to this idea that death is not the end, but kind of a reflection back. And you're using that to reflect your world back to yourself. And someday, tomorrow, this next minute, 30 years from now, it'll be your last breath. And you give all of it back. All of it goes back into life, into that. And now we're getting way off topic here, which might make it be an epic fail. But I guess my point is the world reflects back to you who you are in the moment. And it's such a beautiful gauge. And your emotions, mine, are there to help me move into those things. They're not here to entertain all those old beliefs and everything that was in my past. So I guess that's where I am facing forward with this and overcoming my fear of it, which just shows a bunch of old baggage that I really don't need. And I'm betting you have a bunch of old baggage that you don't need. So what if you just let it slide and do one thing that scares you? Okay, that is my one thing for today. The rest of the day has been, my mom has been in the ER and intensive care, and she's doing good, but her dementia is so bad, which makes everything else just difficult because she can't grasp what's happening and the frustration. And, I just see her suffering. And I'm also in a death doula course right now. And it's so strange how my death doula training is tracking right along with what my mom's going through. So, like, I'm in week 3 right now, and or last week was 3, and it's about dementia and about the DNR, the do not resuscitate. And I'm like, as I'm taking the class, I'm living this with my mom. So, one, I want extra credit on that. But it's so amazing the synchronicity of this. And that is another reason why I'm doing this. It's just like, look, I've got a skull behind me. I'm just like, really? So here I am. So be looking for another one of these. I'm sure you'll be thrilled as much as I will to go. If I posted it, I'm owing to that. And I've said that before, but really haven't had a direction of where I want to head with this. And now I do. So thank you. Thanks for watching. If you watch this, um, I'm going to be disappointed with myself if I don't post it. I'll say that so you can hear me say that too. But come on, come on, Janet, let's do it.